Okay guys, since some of you were out on Monday when we went through this assignment in detail and some of you will be out on Friday, I just wanted to go through it again for you on video in case you need this. So if you go to week 12, the current week in Moodle, and scroll down towards the bottom here, you'll see the assignment instructions. These are the worksheets you can download. If you want to type it in, you can download the Word. If you just want to print it off, you can download the PDF. But this is the worksheet you'll use. And this is the data that you're going to need to get from the balance sheet and the income statement. So most of these you're just going to need to get 2 years of data. For a few of them, to do the averages, you're going to need to have 3 years of data. So you're actually going to need the most recent 10Ks. So that's what this worksheet looks like. There are written instructions here as well. If you want to click on this link, you'll get the same instructions you're getting in the video, but in written format. So you've got that option as well. And just keep in mind that I do want everyone to pick a different company. So if you're not in class on Friday to sign up on the sheet, or you haven't signed up already, you do need to shoot me an email class to let me know what company you want to do. I'll take a brief look at it and make sure it looks like it's going to work for you, that there won't be anything weird about it, and that it also isn't a duplicate. So just make sure you do reach out to me by, end of class time on Friday. So by 11 o'clock on Friday via email if you're not in class. This is the criteria of the company. It does need to be publicly traded. So if you do find the 10K on the SEC website, that's an indication it's publicly traded. That'll let you know that it is publicly traded. They also need to have receivables on their balance sheet, so you can do some of the ratios. They don't have to have inventory on their balance sheet, but if they don't, you'll need to skip over some of the inventory ratios we have, which is fine. And then they'll need to be headquartered in the US, and that will show up on the title screen in the SESC report, so I can show you where to look at that too. And I have had some students already tell me the companies they want, so you will notice that I'll update this with the list of companies that have already been spoken for, so you don't waste your time looking for a company that somebody else has picked. Okay, so and the other important thing to remember about this, we're going to be using the same company that you pick next week as well, because we're going to be doing some ratios in chapter 13. So you want to make sure you pick a company and do the assignment this week so that you're also able to do the assignment next week. So let's scroll back up here. You can use the SEC database to pull the 10K. That's what I'm going to show you. You can also go to the company's website and pull the 10K as well. I think sometimes it's a little easier to use this tool, the SEC EDGAR database, because it is standardized and it does have an interactive element, but you can use whatever source you want to get your data. So what I'm going to show you is the SESC EDGAR database. So if you click on this link right here, it'll take you there. I think the fastest way to search for a company is just to click on the company filing search right here. And then you can type the name of whatever company you want to pull up. If I do Nike, for example, there'll be some options coming up down here, but your best bet is actually to hit this search button so that you can clearly see which one of these has the SIC code, which indicates which company you might want to pull. If you look at this, and you can see if I type in Lithia, there's a whole bunch of different options for Lithia, and if you're not really familiar with Lithia, with the company you're pulling up, it may be hard to figure out what one you want from this little drop down. So I do recommend that after you type in the company name that you actually click search. And the company that you want is almost always going to be the one that's got the SIC code right here. So that's why looking at this search helps you see which is which a little bit better. To know whether or not your company is headquartered in the United States, you can go right over here, and if it's a state, it'll just list the state that it's headquartered in, and if it's another country, it'll have some information here as well. So you can see that Lithia is headquartered in Oregon. So I'm going to click on the CIK code right here. Again, I'm choosing the one that's got the SIC code, and then I'm clicking on the CIK code to pull it up. So this will pull up a whole bunch of data for the company. And you only want the 10K. You don't want all of this data. So the fastest way to get to that under the filing type is just to type in 10K. And then hit enter or hit search. And at this point, you've got all your 10Ks here, and you'll see that the most recent ones are on top. One other thing to notice is, again, the whole mailing address for where the company is headquartered is up here as well. So again, if you were checking to make sure your company was headquartered in the United States, that information would be up here as well. So here's all of our 10Ks. You are going to need the last two because you're going to need 3 years of worth of data. And each 10K will have 2 years worth of data. So to get the last 3 years for some of those stats, you're actually going to need to pull up these most recent two 10Ks. So I think the easiest way to do this is if you click Interactive Data. Then you can actually see the information read on the screen. So if I click Financial Statements, and I'm looking for the consolidated balance sheets and the consolidated statement of operations or the consolidated statement of income. What you don't want is you don't want anything with comprehensive income, and we're not doing anything with stockholders' equity. So you just want the balance sheet or the statement of operations. So if I click on the balance sheet right here, here's all the information that you need to fill out that worksheet. So you can just fill out the worksheet directly from the screen. You could do a screenshot if you wanted to, or I'll show you how to import it to Excel in a minute. So you can see all your data's here. And then if I click on my income statement, I've got all my data here as well. You'll see some different net incomes here. For some of the companies, just go ahead and use this net income right here on your worksheet. That will be straightforward enough for our purposes. So if you do want to save this information, you can click View Excel Document. And this will download a document in Excel that you can just then save to your computer. So everything it downloads will be in its own tab. So the balance sheets will be on their own tab right here. And then there's your statement of operations on this tab. So it'll download all of the information, including all of the financial statements here, statements of cash flow. It also is going to download all your note information as well. So it'll download everything that all the tables that are in it that you might possibly need. But all we're going to need for this worksheet for right now anyway is your balance sheet and your income statement. So if you do want to save it this way, you've got this option. You can also, if you want to, print it from here. This will save each individual page as a PDF. It doesn't save the whole document as a PDF though. But if you do want to print first the income statement, then the balance sheet as a PDF, you can also use this tool here. So I think that's the fastest way to look up the data. However, I'm going to go back and show you another way that you can look it up if you want to print the full entire PDF file. So I'm going to go into company filings again. Pick Lithia again. I want the one with the SIC code, and I want to click on the CIK code. I'm going to type 10K in here again. And this time, instead of going to interactive data, you could go to documents, and that'll let you print out a PDF of the entire 10K form, which is, you know, in several cases, it can be 100 pages or more long. So it is really difficult to look through that whole thing if you're not used to it, but that is an option. If you click right there, you'll get a whole bunch of attachments. And again, you're going to want to find the 10K in this one, and it's going to be an XBRL format at first. So go ahead and click on the 10K document. And again, this is XBRL, so you can use it from here if you want to and read through all the data. Your financial statements are always going to be in section 8. If they're not, sometimes they'll tell you that they actually begin on page F1 as an exhibit. So if they do say that, you can scroll down towards the very end. And I'm looking for page F1. You can see how this is a bit more tedious. You can get there, but there's a whole bunch of other tables. Okay, so now I'm on page 1, the auditor's report. I'm at the beginning of my financial statements. So I'm just going to scroll down past the audit report. Here's my balance sheet. So you can write the information down from this screen. And then here's my statement of operations, my income statement. So you can also write the information down from this screen. However, If you do want to save it as a PDF, I haven't played with this a whole lot, but the best way I find is to first open it as next open it as HTML. And then from HTML, if you right click on the screen here, you can do print, and you can actually print it to a printer if you want to. I'm just going to do save as a PDF here, and it will take a little while for this to load because, like I said, they are. So eventually it'll load. Here it is, and if you scroll down here, you can see that it's a lot of pages, 92 pages. So I guess not quite 100 pages, but it's a lot to scroll through. But if you do prefer this method, you can print it or you can save it to PDF right from here. There is one other way that you can search if you do not have any idea of what company name you want to look up. If you go to company filings, and instead of putting the name in, go down here to more options. You have the option of searching by industry code, so you can search for like the entire baked goods industry, or you can search by the entire computer industry. So if you click on this list of SEC codes and scroll down to find an industry you're interested in, got, dairy products, ice cream, canned, grain mill products, this would be like cereal, bakery, all kinds of different industries. So if we choose grain mill products, this will probably be something like cereal, 2040. We hit the back browser button, go back here to more options, go down again to the SIC code box, and this time type in 2040 and hit enter or search. And this will bring up all the different companies that fall under that particular industry. So for example, we've got General Mills right here. You can click on General Mills, type 10-K, and you can see their most recent 10Ks as well. So that is another option, searching by SIC code